Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth fifth episode of the series where we are traveling the world using Google Maps Street View imagery. Today, excitingly, we'll be going to the center of Australia. We're imagining that we are a design agency worker from the outskirts of Melbourne, looking for a little weekend getaway. All of these trips were somehow like weekend getaways so far, but this time it's really the weekend and we're really getting away to Alice Springs. Alice Springs is a city, I don't know how many people live there, a couple of thousand, 20,000, 50,000, and it's in the very center of Australia, although still in the Northern Territory. There are ways to get there. A sort of car trip would take us, well, long. But we're gonna fly. We're gonna be taking the plane. We're gonna be flying Qantas. Actually, I don't know if Qantas operates. But we're gonna start today's trip from Alice Springs Airport, where, by the way, just to show you, you can only travel domestically to all your, biggest Australian cities except Perth, and instead you can also go to Tennant Creek, which I'm sure is just another place in the middle of nowhere. And I think the idea for this video is to arrive at Alice Springs Airport and take a taxi into town, going to our hotel, and just see what we are stumbling upon. I want to start this trip by actually showing you the inside of the airport. Very sort of like 90s. Here you immediately encounter the magazine about Uluru, which is the name of this like kind of rock that stands somewhat nearby Alice Springs. I don't know if that's why Alice Springs exists, probably not. But yeah, this is why people come to this place, and also the carpet. The carpet, I believe, shows Aboriginal patterns. I really don't know. It's colorful, it's 90s, it's chic, it's en vogue. So yeah, let's get started. Now, unfortunately, since we are taking a taxi, we cannot drive into the main airport building. And similarly, there's no street view from the airport, but the closest we can go to is here. And now, simply imagine that, we're coming from here, from the airport, and we're going to Alice Springs. I mean, how clear can you be in your signage, Airport, city. Alright then, without further talking, let's get started. I have to look at the camera sometimes to see that I'm not talking too much and focusing on the trip. Oops. So of course, left traffic in Australia. We're traveling on the right. I mean, there will be also then left traffic in Melbourne, where we come from, but somehow, yeah, I cannot change the lane. Sorry, Australia. What does it say here? Alice Springs Solar City. This is the kind of vehicle combination that we would have otherwise taken if we didn't fly. But I'm not so much in the mood for a road trip, in the route for a mode trip. Alright. Luckily the airport city connection is not so far. I mean, we all know these cities where you fly to London and Paris with some of their airports, and you're really landing in the middle of nowhere. We have just 10 kilometers to go. This is Tennant Creek, by the way, where you could also fly to, and Darwin, the city in the very north. It's, even if you think about it, I don't know about your country, but in Germany, you wouldn't see the place name appearing on a street sign over 1,000 kilometer away, like before your actual destination. Well, also there's no 1,000 kilometer road even, but you get what I mean. Like, just shows how scarcely populated this part of Australia, well, basically any part of Australia except the coasts, are. Mm. Astronomy. Vietnamese restaurant. More than a home away from home. Yeah, it is interesting, like, which kind of people live here nowadays. What can you even do here? I mean, obviously, if you come all this way from Melbourne, you're coming for the tranquility and for the nature somehow. But like this outback nature, it just doesn't get me. I mean, if anything, then maybe kind of these intersections of roads where in every direction you look, there's absolutely nothing. There's no trees, there's absolutely nothing. But here we do have some things, and somehow I'm a bit underwhelmed, but let's wait until we are downtown and see how big Alice Springs even is, or how big it feels, which are kind of different things. Are we on the right track? Yes, we are. It's nice. Look at this train, the old Garn train, with the Latvian flag livery. It's a nice touch. Arizona Research Institute. Yeah, research institutes, hotels, restaurants, trip planning offices, tour guides. These are the kind of businesses I'm expecting to run into. Look how the tarmac is actually red, just as the soil. I don't know if they mix maybe some of the soil in there, but it is quite fascinating. Am I still on track? Yes. Alright. Off we go. We're really flying through the prairie here. Absolutely nailing it. Still on the wrong side of the road, but what can you do? Oh, there's a McDonald's. Proudly locally owned and supporting the community. I think that's like one of the sort of things that Australians try to be or tend to be, or at least younger Australians are more aware, or like older, I don't actually know, but like the sort of connection to the Aboriginal cultures who lived here before, still live here. Many descendants of Aboriginal people, I hope that's the right term, native inhabitants are still living here. So I think that kind of what McDonald's does here is sort of like trying to be somewhat inclusive, and at the same time putting it on this advertising board. I don't know, gives me an interesting vibe. Can all, of course, form your own opinions about it. I also just don't know enough about it. I think the idea is really to just kind of show you what we come across and take in the first glance from riding airport to city and really paying attention to what's on the side of the roads. So now we are coming into a somewhat more built up area. At least somehow. Yes, welcome. Yeah, welcome to you too. It just doesn't look like there's absolutely anything happening here, but at least there's a street. At least for the type of adventure we are doing, a street is pretty much all we need. Could always stay in our car or in our taxi in this case. And this is the band now. The street bends a bit, and this is what I've been waiting for, because now we're going to Alice Springs proper. These were the suburbs where basically there wasn't anything. But here, just through these, in this little valley, or I guess it could be called like this is where the city begins. And like, I would imagine that for somehow many of these car drivers that are maybe coming from further, now they're really having some kind of relief, like, oh, thank God we made it, we drove 3 weeks non-stop from Melbourne, from Sydney, from Adelaide, straight up. And as a consequence, and maybe this is one of the answers why there are quite a few thousand people living in Alice Springs, many of these people that came just don't want to go back. Like, don't want to take the journey of going back, don't want to deal with this long drive again. And when you bring your car, you either abandon it and take a plane, or you bring the car back. So a bit of a dilemma situation. Alright, let's see then. We want to go to town center, so we have to take the second exit. Did I understand this correctly? Yes. It's left traffic. I'm thinking right traffic second. So it would be the third, wouldn't it be? Like here, perhaps? No, here. Yes, town center. I wonder if it's really piping, boiling hot here, or if it's just kind of always sunny but not always so hot. Piggly supermarket. Does it look the same in like Texas or Utah somewhere? Can anyone find like any resemblance to any other place? I hope it's not gonna be one of these places where we end up in the town center but we don't even know. Like, what would give it away? Perhaps a supermarket, some shops, some people walking? But if it's that hot, no one's going to be walking. I have to look at this little map. Squash. I guess we go straight. I mean, maybe this is the center, you know? Like, I really don't know any better. As for European, it's very confusing if every house in the city has only one story, one floor, one level, and it's the ground level. It's a bit irritating somehow. Just looks like there is no city, you know, and like if you don't build levels on top of one another, you kind of flatten out the city. Because like, you know, people gotta live somewhere, so it's not very dense. They look like tourists, so maybe this is the center. Yeah, see, this is a good indication. Having some tourists, and it's also, perhaps it's also Christmas. KFC, yeah. There's a park. People are in the shade, exclusively in the shade, so it must be hot. I think it's worth to travel a little bit further. Because also we have not seen our hotel yet. Ah, here we go. That looks like an Australian town center. I've been once in Tasmania and was like Devonport. Is that a place in Tasmania? I don't know. But the towns, no, it wasn't Lancastershire, Lancashire, Lancashire, and the town center looked the same. I think they have like this one sort of sample of town centers. Oh yeah, here by downtown proper. That's a cool building, like some fancy American diner or like nice architecture. Also like unique in a way. I wouldn't know that I have seen something like this anywhere else before. So maybe some people of native origin, I don't know. Where should we go? Do we go here? Where's our hotel? Nobody knows. Wow, look at all these buses driving tourists around. Probably like to this Uluru rock. But I don't know what you think about this place. I'm really struggling to have an opinion on it. Perhaps it's just somehow a bit naive to come here and come here on Google Maps and think that you're gonna end up with a deep opinion about it, but somehow I'm not really getting what the vibe is here, other than it being just seeming very, very quiet. Where was the river? Is this the sidewalk? Yeah, I mean there must be a river, otherwise. Sometimes anyways. Maybe it's too dry. Oh, it's also nice, yeah. Pretty picturesque. Pizza and spaghetti house. Oh yeah. What's going on here? Oi, some like reptile. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff, like this sort of like art where people cut things into wood, or like also work with like metal, build like gigantic people out of old car tires or like bike chains or something. That's the kind of art, because that's the kind of resources you can find here. Maybe with the soil you could do something, painting or something, I don't know. Where are we? Alright. we're just going back to the other side and to my hotel. Backpackers. Oh yeah. Oh no, let me please go through. Oh no, I'm stuck. It's not a thorough road. So, is it here then, yeah? My hotel? Oh yeah. I will be staying in this complex. I think my room is not ready yet. But yeah, thanks very much for watching it. I'd be really curious to see what you think. If I've missed something, maybe I didn't go to the right streets. I mean, the idea was just kind of to go into town, and I think that's what we did. And whatever we've seen, and whatever we didn't see, we didn't see. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and I see you next time. Bye bye.